I was taken when I was only 6-year-old.
Put us in the car and just took us.
We suffered because of what our parents went through.
Yeah, the more you scrape back, the more pain it is, the more you understand.
May 26 is National Sorry Day, and it's all about commemorating the Bringing Them Home report and the experiences of stolen generation survivors.
I was working actually at Woonunga, the Aboriginal Health Service here in Canberra, as a Bringing Them Home counsellor. And I can remember one of my clients actually saying, I feel like I exist.
For me, that was a beginning, knowledge and find out who I was. And that was a pathway to find my way home, I guess.
I was involved as a Human Rights Commissioner, the Social Justice Commission at the time. It was probably the toughest thing I've ever done, day in, day out. You were hearing these horrible stories.
There is still much unfinished business from the Bring Them Home report.
We need more action, not words.
We're coming up to almost 30 years since the report was tabled.
30 years is a generation. We need to act now, particularly as survivors are ageing. We need to act now so that their stories and their histories are honoured.
There are things like access to records that needs attention, need for support. The trauma can go from generation, and perhaps never get resolved.
We need funding to get out and let our survivors and descendants know that they're not alone, and we're here to try and help in any way we can. If they need health or they need housing.
Connecting back to home, because so many survivors have a fear of going home and being accepted again.
Having sort of some standards around what redress looks like, and once again being led by survivors.
What we haven't seen is a really systemic, wraparound, wide-ranging support for the recommendations.
I'd just like to see a change, a big change.
We need to honour them, but we also need to make sure that there is change and that these behaviours don't continue, not just for my people, but for all people.
And so it's a day of reflection for me to honour their stories.
For me, it's actually, it will be a good date as a point of change of direction and ownership, understanding.
This National Sorry Day, I really encourage you to listen and really hear the stories of those survivors and what they went through.
In a sense, look at themselves and say, oh, God, I didn't know that. Perhaps we ought to inform myself about that.
Read what's in front of them about the wrongdoing, about the children.
Hear the truth about our history.
And they've got to stop the wrongs of the past.
And to understand the impact that it still has on our people today. And please share that message with other Australians, your friends, family, because it's something that we can never forget as a country. And we need to come together to understand how we move forward on these recommendations and to see them fully implemented for the future.